Okay, so this is a long time coming from homework and research and really personal experience. I want to ask all of you if you have been through my blogs, you've read through some of this stuff, and what we're going to share with you, I think it's really important. A lot of the therapy that I'm sharing with you guys is maybe stuff that might be related to cases similar. And we know how important the Nicole Brown Simpson case was and still is, believe me. For some of you who have been victims of sexual assault or crimes, when I think about the Nicole Brown Simpson case, I think about Marshall Park and Darden and all the individuals that were involved in that case, including Greta Van Susteren. And um, we saw individuals at bus stops on a regular basis, victims of domestic violence, and I've even had the opportunity to talk to the assistant, and that would be Denise Brown's assistant, and I got a lot more information that I had not been aware of. So there are ways to maybe bring about legislation, whether it be here in the state of Pennsylvania. And there was one piece of legislation that was in window legislation, it's HB 951, and this kind of crime assistance for victims would show that there's been several incidents, and once it gets to a point, there's one or two or three incidents, it has an alert system and a flag system. Internally, they can immediately leave some kind of envelope and some assistance for the victims, or in some cases, maybe negotiate at a neutral place with either the individuals involved and parties involved. It could be something as simple as a financial matter, or maybe even a simple remedy, a food box. A lot of times when families are dealing with other problems, I've noticed this over a period of time. There's maybe ways to intervene, and it doesn't have to involve police. So I'm doing this now while we have a neutral time off and time to do this. So a lot of times when families are in crisis, they don't have enough money or funds, and this is what's really been. We're very fortunate. There's help out there, and there are families can do outreach, and there are ways to get involved. And there's a lot of times families that don't get the right kind of help. In the case of Officer Bashams, and other police officers who've been assaulted and sometimes permanently injured, and sometimes their injuries in this case end up in resulting in a death. So we are trying so hard to bring about legislation so that this doesn't keep happening. How about breaking the cycle of abuse by just intervening alone? When I think about the hospitals full of injuries, that there would be resources and help at that hospital, and they would be able to get maybe a food box and some other assistance that might not be available at some of these other programs. And really, the best place to go is the emergency room. And a lot of times with the police officers, empowering our police, just even having a hotel voucher, this worked at the South Carolina Highway Patrol, and being able to meet with detectives at the hospital, there are ways that this can change the way things are done from this point on. I've learned firsthand, having been a victim and had to try to go to court. A lot of times the victims can't go forward or are afraid to talk. And sometimes just going to the hospital and talking to the hospital social worker and getting a PSA out there so that families, hospitals, doctors, nurses, police officers can work together. There are ways to prevent this from continuing. Intervention programs, these are all great ideas. So I cannot imagine a day living this way anymore. Some of us have lived this way since we were kids. So to me, intervening and getting bus tokens, even wooden nickels to go on the trolley, even getting a coupon to go to area restaurants who are willing to participate in this really important program. It gives police officers and families an opportunity to empower the community. And to me, by empowering the community, empowering your children, and getting even something as simple as a wooden nickel to go on a trolley, it's really that neat. So I hope whatever little things we can do, even art projects, even something simple, table games. One of the things I'm hoping we can accomplish this fall is getting an NFL football team table league together or something like that. I mean, There are ideas on the table. It's just we need your financial support. We need police officers to help us to get these vouchers together. We need somebody that can help organize some of these events. I've talked to local businesses. I know there's some people that have been trying to do some fundraising. So, I mean, if it works out for all of us, that this outreach is, whether it be a block party or a block parent program, all these programs tied under one program under these domestic violence laws, it helps not only bring communities together, but it gives people a chance to do more than just become a victim of life and a victim of circumstances. You can be an overcomer. So hopefully by introducing some new legislation and hoping to see if there are people who can help represent some of these issues. Listen, we got to take the sting out of abuse and bring positive results, and we need to see results. At the end of the day, some of the crimes that are being committed have a lot to do with the drugs and trafficking, just that much more aware. Whether your church organizations are involved or not, it is great. It is a great idea to get involved. Go into Al-Anon, Narconon, Alateen. There are plenty of meetings and churches willing to do the extra work. So hopefully with the new legislation we can see some results. I hope that this voucher program is able to do a lot more. Maybe it's just incentivizing. Maybe it is school books. Maybe it's a book bag. But those little things mean a lot to a family in need. So, and I noticed from reading some of the pamphlets at the YMCA, these results, those are results. You might not see the results now, but just planting small seeds, even again, a tip jar, things like this, helping somebody in need, it makes a difference. Thank you for listening to this post. We're going to continue blogging about topics like this because obviously these topics are going to come up every day. And of course, it's being summer, we know, of course, also as school approaches, we know that a lot of kids are eager to go back. I can only imagine they're so excited about going back to school, and we hope by open house and maybe between now and open house we'll have some maybe other projects we work on and we can put it on display at some of our area school districts with the help of the school districts. Thank you for listening to our post.